what we have done essentially is make the business case. That's made a big difference. We've said low pay for employers doesn't pay, and they have agreed ultimately that it doesn't pay. Low productivity, you get high turnover, absenteeism, it's exactly the kinds of things you're talking about, poor quality, damage to reputation, and just damage to reputation is an interesting one, industrial relations problems, obviously. UCL, University College London, is a very prestigious university. All the other universities in the area, the same area, university colleges had gone living wage after campaigns. UCL held out. The provost said, no, can't afford it. And he found suddenly that he opened the London's Evening Standard one day and found a two-page spread on his university and the fact that since he came into office, the number of people earning 100,000 or more, 100,000 pounds or more had gone from 3 to 103, and that he had a surplus of millions and millions of pounds, and he was saying that he couldn't pay his cleaners a living wage. And interestingly, the following day he called up and said, I've changed my mind. So, you know, this was very important. But many employers have actually recognized the fact that it is not beneficial to them to pay the lowest wage, that they actually gain an enormous amount from paying better. Greater London Authority was the first authority to adopt the living wage. It's now implemented it through all of what we call the family, which is the Transport for London, London Fire and Emergency Planning Authority, London Development Agency, Metropolitan Police Authority, and the Metropolitan Police Service. So that's, again, contract cleaning, catering, all of that through all of those. And London Transport was difficult because it was a public-private partnership. So it was sort of 3 levels away, had to work through all of that, and that was finally done. London councils, each council is its own municipality, so we've had to work through those, but we have a whole variety of London councils. Lewisham in particular is an entirely living wage borough and has just let its first living wage home care contract, home care being one of the most notoriously difficult ones and lowest pay. The Olympics, which we've just talked about, Westfield Shopping Centre. Westfield is a big Australian property development and company that builds shopping centres. They were going to build a big shopping centre in West London. We did the same kind of thing. We said, if you want to be here, you want it to be in this community, you need to pay living wage. So we negotiations and lots of back and forth, but they agreed, and it is the first living wage shopping centre. And they're building a new one in Stratford, which is near the Olympics, and that will also be a living wage shopping centre. We've also got 4 hospitals, 2 museums, 11 universities, 4 central government contracts, and over 100 private and voluntary organizations, now including some major retail firms. L'Oreal, we think Coca-Cola in London, but honestly, they're going to pay it. We've really made a lot of progress. Lots of big banks and finance companies. We've got real political acceptance at a national and local level. So you've got Boris Johnson up there, who's the mayor of London, a conservative mayor of London, I have to stress, one of the most powerful supporters of the living wage. Former Prime Minister and head of the Labour government, the new leader of the Labour Party, the current Prime Minister, also a Tory, is the one that said living wage is an idea whose time has come. Green Party, Scottish Labour Party, all of them have agreed to support living wage and to promote living wage. So very broad political acceptance. What have we learned from campaigning? Make the primary employer responsible to the community. Very frequently you get employers that say, it's not to do with me, it's a private contract, I'm not responsible. Make them responsible. Don't let them off the hook. Choose locally focused, achievable goals. Win something small, move on to the next thing. Unions and communities must work together. Okay, we can't live in our separate realities. We have to form broad coalitions. Coalition is crucial. That's what gives you the power to win. When we have not the usual suspects at the table, that's when we almost always make the biggest impression and win the living wage. So that's it. Thank you. And that's it.